I am Rajalakshmi, Assistant Professor, Department of English. Now in front of you to discuss briefly on literary criticism and literary theory, which is very prominent in nowadays literary field and also especially in our NET examination. So let us briefly give a glance of certain things. Before I go into the difference between these two, let me clear you what they denote individually. When I say literary criticism, it denotes action. That means that literary work, how it involves into action through its characters or that story, whatever it is, how it is vibrant with action. Literary theory, on the other hand, denotes an abstract idea or else a set of rules what we can apply into the text, what is that we have taken into. For example, if I have taken this Othello, when we deal with the character Othello, to which theory his actions would be falling into, like that we will be focusing. For example, if I say Virginia Woolf and her characters, actually it will come under psychoanalytical approach. As such, it would be relating to one aspect. When we are going into certain rules to which this literary text is going to fall, then we will say that as literary theory. And so when we know what is theory and what is criticism, let's go into that outward difference between them. It is a practical study, as I have already told you. Literary criticism and literary theory deals with the categories and classification of that literary text, what is that we have taken in hand. And this literary criticism concerns with analysis, evaluation, and judgment, and critical appreciation, like that, it comparison, all such things will include in literary criticism. But it is literary theory is somewhat an extensive piece of literary text where we are going to frame a pattern or a set of characters or of ideas for themes, plots, and all. So there is a slight difference in between these two that we have to make very clear before we go into. And let me now come into, when we have got a brief idea of those two and its basic difference, let me come to certain popular to say or that important theories which we are going to deal. To start with, we can say structuralism. The term structuralism, the very name itself tells you, it has been dealing with structure. This is by Swedish linguist or theorist, you can say, Ferdinand de Saussure, who has given importance to the structure of language while he deals with that theory. He says that sign and that symbol involves very much to give out a content. We cannot directly reach the content of that text without those a sign and symbol. That's what he says in that theory. He goes in a very systematic way to deal with that also. For example, when I say apple, I am under the apple tree. For example, if I say so, very immediately your mind coincide with that apple, the tree, the image of all such will be coming into or flashing into your mind, and you will be coming to that structural part of it along with that. As soon as you coincide that image of apple and the tree, and you will be telling that yes, I am below, and like that you will be coinaging that term to get the meaning. As such, it would be signs and symbols are very much important to grasp the meaning very easily. As far as I understood, I feel so. So he has been given importance to structure. And the second one, deconstruction or post-structuralism to say, is being framed by Jacques Derrida. He says that splitting into that maximum level of that units rather to zero level, thereby you have to again go into the things, you have to apply where is that loophole in it, or what is that subconscious tells about that particular text, and you would be reframing into by applying your imagination. Constructing is being deconstructed into small pieces, thereby you are again reconstructing the things. That has been deconstruction, thereby you are getting another one. And we know very well that modernism and postmodernism right from 1970s or else in the 20th century to say, where in modernism the things are being, that is how does it differ from classicism to modern. The thoughts and the approach of that people or the society or the culture and that freedom in expressing things, these are all will come under that writer's work. That has been defined as modernism, and little bit advanced is postmodernism. These two will be, let me say for modernism we can take T.S. Eliot, Isra Brown, Franz Kafka and all, and for postmodernism Linda Hessian, Samuel Beckett, Allen Ginsberg and all. What is that modernism and postmodernism and the theories of that tells us means? Actually modernism, if you can take that T.S. Eliot, he has taken one particular issue, tradition and individual talent, his work. No, there he has been talking mainly about objective correlative, how it has been not strictly following that tradition, but at the same time it does not mean that it has left out traditional principles also. There how that correlation between objectivity is being very much important, thus and all been discussed by. So works related to the thing or the theme or the idea, what I want to convey, he will not be in a shady or hidden manner, it would be straight away rather. That has been predominant in modernism. Postmodernism, when it is predominant in modern itself, postmodernism deals with a very much crystal clear way whatever it wants to deal with. Coming to feminism, the term again tells you that rights and equality of women, not only the rights and equality, the sufferings or the turmoils with which they have been undergoing their life once, and how do they want to fight for their identity crisis, and how could they claim their individuality in the society, to revolt against that suppressed men, that is patriarchy what we say, from that and all. To talk about all that authentically, there are few writers, there itself you can talk about gay, lesbian and queer theory, because they are all mainly of that thing which could not be like taboos once have come out into that open and discussed very freely by those writers and their works. There we can take these writers, Virginia Woolf, Toni Morrison, Jane Austen, George Eliot, Chimamanda Adichie, who is fighting for that blacks' rights and their status in that society, especially in American Africans and all. There we can get clear of those their works. And eco-criticism, we know ecology, with which we are being very much worried about nowadays, because that the criticism or the literary piece which has got a connection with environmental issues, how it has been certain issues which are, we can even say, disaster to that extent, that is global warming, glaciers melting, and that fall and rise of the ocean level, all such things will come under eco-criticism. How it should be preserved, how it should be protected for our future generation. For that we have to, it is almost like a interdisciplinary one. We have to pay more attention on environment also. There are many modern writers, recent writers have done their work on eco-criticism. And narratology, how that work has been narrated, the writing, not the theme or something else, or the characters, how they are narrating, it is not of that. That writing, how it has been very narrative to attract the audience, has been dealt in narratology. When coming to new criticism, historicism, or sorry, it is not new criticism, new historicism. Sorry. New criticism will come under T.S. Eliot's work. So it is not a new criticism here, it is new historicism. When we say history, it deals with the past or nostalgic events, but here it is given as new historicism. So it is something slightly deviating from historical, not a mere representation of the past, but it applies certain things which how it has been deviated from, and how we can even say go to that extent of telling that is literary works in historical context, and you can even say the condition how the society is been once in the past and how it is differing, the cultural differences because of so many issues come in. All such that things being dealt in new criticism, that is Stephen Greenblatt, you can take as an example. And when we come to colonialism and post-colonialism, colonialism we all know that we have experienced that colonialistic rules in our country itself. These colonial writers at the time of their colonial impact, when it is, that has been discussed with many writers. And post-colonialism, after the colonialistic rule, how we have been liberated from colonialism. Even though we have been liberated from colonialism, how far we have been influenced by the effect of colonialism. We are not being, so to say, culturally or by our lifestyle, whatever it is, we have got somehow or other the impact of colonialism, though not we are being directly suppressed or overruled by them. That has also been discussed with writers like Edward Said, Homi Bhabha, the famous one, and Bill Ashcraft, and so on. So here, what is that we are going to know by these theories in general is, these theories rather take us to that wider concept of that issues the society is facing and how the cultural impact has been involved into or intertwined into, all such things being wonderfully woven by many writers, especially the so-called famous writers, to talk about that impact of theory and the use of theory. Criticism is an analytical work, no doubt. Only through that we are going to have a depth of that study of any work, but it rather goes beyond that and tells you much more how it has been taken to that widened perspective of not only the writer as well as the readers. It's what, and reader response theory is also there that I didn't mention here, where the sole importance of readers, not of the writer's issue, not of the writer's thought, not of that writer's concept, though he has have one thing, the reader also has his own rights to go in and interfere according to his perception and imagination. So these are all the theories which are very attractive to go and do works based on that, and we ourselves will be tempted to go beyond the level of why not we write in under that theories any article like as such, we would be inspired also. That's what I think I have made it clear of all those theories with a basic minimum very brief explanation. Thank you.